After listening to Medusa, animation, Rigel, I think I'm getting a sense of what research I would like to pursue further, because it's really a little earlier for me to kind of think of a solid idea as yet. Tarapani, I mean, what I really am able to get from what I've heard until now is that. And then that's also something that I'm looking into is this whole idea uh, of of who is a queer person really. I mean, like what Animesh le bhanu bhayo ki when they started using lipstick or some kind of a makeup that they wanted to use, that was seen as excessive by people. And in the same way, Medusa also spoke about their ways of self-identification that others thought was not appropriate enough in terms of how they perceive gender. And similarly, Rigel also. So, I mean, what is really queer? And I think here I would like to bring this particular philosopher called Lee Edelman, who says that that queerness cannot really define any identity. It can only destroy one. And I think that this particular, desire among us to sort of validate, particular identity as even a queer identity for that matter. And when other people also say, okay, fine, that he is gay or they are lesbian or they are non-binary, but then at the same time, they are not willing to accept the fact that a person's identity can be very unpredictable and uncertain. And that is central to one's journey to self-identification. And we cannot have labels or markers to sort of certify our identity. Our identities are always moving, always changing. And that uncertainty is what queerness sort of holds. And that is something that people, the heteronormative society, is not willing to understand. And I feel like that is also because of this particular idea that we need a future. Just to meet a family, all the time एउटा मतलब बिहा हुनुपर्छ छोरा मान्छे भएर बिहा गर्नुपर्छ and what a छोरा मान्छे should do and what a छोरी मान्छे should do, and the very need for a child and for a continuity in terms of family, who can actually look after parents after a point of time, that kind of a generationality, that kind of a family structure, that sort of that sort of imagines a future, that imagines a reproductive, a procreative future, is at the heart of all kinds of heterosexual masculinity toxicity that queer people face. And I think that we need to really question these kinds of ideas that sort of solidify this idea of a future. Why should we live for a certain for propagating a family? Why should we live to sort of with the sort of idea that we are accumulating something for somebody? Why should we really continue this genealogical model of living? And why should we just let ourselves be who we are and try to fight for ourselves, our identities? And I know that this is really difficult and all of us have faced it, but I think we should still keep going and questioning the heteronormative structure of relationships and the way heteronormativity has become so very powerful that even homosexuals have accepted it in a way that they rigorously celebrate or want marriages to take place. And I know that some of us might support it, but again, the idea of marriage, the idea of having a stable life in very very gender terms in many ways, is also a very normative idea of being accepted. So which queer will then be accepted? Will the one who gets married be accepted, and will then have, if children, will be accepted? So again, and when we see the future of queer people, again, we also need to know that we are also sort of moving towards a future that many of us want to see as the happy future. the happy future that sort of promises a kind of stability. And that stability is what is at the heart of oppression. And I feel like to be queer is to live freely. And freedom comes with a lot of uncertainty. And to be able to accept it is definitely the risk, but probably we should allow it. And I think that could be the first step to think about, freedom in a much more holistic manner.